I'm going to share screen now with you. Right, it's
I love that.
By the way, these images that I got there, like that, I've done with the AI, artificial intelligence, DALL-E, it's called, DALLE. And in that, you do something like I said, could you do a picture of an older man getting very angry using a landline? And in the style, I don't know who said it was in the style of, I think it was David Hockney, but I'm not sure. But these are what the sort of things it comes up with.
You should have asked us, Bernard. We'd have done it for you.
Yeah, they'd have been originals then. Well, these are originals.
All these, none of these are copyright. Now, the fact is that we've still got the majority of people still have landlines in the UK. Have you all still got one, even though you've got mobile phones?
Yes.
You have to have a landline to get your Wi-Fi signal into the
I wanted to say your server comes through the phone, your computer.
Not for long, it won't.
No.
Well, it will.
I like this one as well. That's a good one.
Oh, I love that. That's fabulous.
Right.
I like that one better, actually.
Yeah.
First one.
Okay, let's put this down here.
So will everyone have to have broadband? Because Jenny hasn't got broadband, and that's partly why she's got a landline.
No, they won't have to, but they'll have to have some sort of internet connection, which they will do through the through your power system, or providing you with a router of some sort. But I think there is going to be extra expense in this, of course, somewhere along the line, because the telecoms companies like Virgin and BT are doing this because it means it can close down the telephone exchanges that have always been there since early in the 20th century. And they're being switched off in 2025, but Virgin aiming to get people off them by May this year.
So are they going to buy me an iPhone then?
No. Oh, no. They're going to provide a little box which you can put your phone into, which hopefully it will work with and might not, which will then plug into the internet. They will be internet based. But if you look at the old, it's called a public switched telephone network. And this is from a telecoms company about the benefits of it. It's actually built for using a telephone, and for it's doing one thing and it's doing it well. And it's been developed over the years so that now the level of voice quality is far superior by and large to the voice quality you get on mobile phones. I don't know whether you've noticed that. I certainly do. I can't get a proper signal for my mobile phone at home. So I always use the landline by preference.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's purpose built. It's got better reliability and security. It's easy to use and set up, and it's a good backup. It's a telecom system that people trust, and that's not to be sniffed at, really. A lot of people use it. They're used to using it, and it works for them. Therefore, get rid of it. Seems to be.
Well, Virgin did that with our local bank. They got rid of our local bank, took it over and closed it down. You know, I wouldn't give Virgin house room, to tell you the truth.
I didn't know they ran banks.
Oh, Virgin Money.
Oh, right.
So the idea is that with the corded handsets, that's the one that coming through the old copper wire and the telephone wires you see in the street. In the event of a local power cut, these corded handsets will continue to function because as long as the telephone exchange hasn't been taken out, which never has. And so they've been extremely reliable in times when there's a power strike. What I'm getting at now is not just the arguments in favor of landlines, and I'll come on to, there are arguments against keeping them, quite reasonable ones as well. But it's the way that Virgin is doing it. And this is the letter that was sent to somebody from Good Neighbours who's in her 80s and very, very, very upset about this and concerned about it. And it says on it, if a technician visit isn't arranged, you will lose your Virgin Media home phone service as this is your only service with Virgin Media, your contract will be cancelled.
Oh
That's
dear.
a kind of very aggressive sort of way of
Yeah.
approaching it,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
So I went on the phone with her, and she was able to kind of verify that I could speak for her. And they said, and she's agreed. I've explained that it won't mean she'll be without a phone. The one that she's got will be able to plug into the system that they're going to replace it with, which is what they call voice over the internet protocol. It goes over the internet and therefore is not. They call it a home phone migration, but they are still landlines. They're not landlines. Yeah, it's blaming it on various people. So anyway, I rang them up to arrange a technician's appointment because I wanted to be there with her when, she wanted me to be there with her when they come, because she was worried they were going to rip all the cabling up it or any cables that you've got in the house, things like that. And they said, okay, we will send her a note of when the appointment will be by email. She hasn't got email.
Oh,
So managed to get them to send it by text, and they were going to send me a copy, which they haven't done, but I contacted them and now found out the date, so I'll contact her and be with her at the time that she's doing it. But the level of upset of people realizing that this is going to happen, and how difficult it is getting through to all these to actually speak to a person. You go through it and you've got the level. Is it about your phone? Is it about is it about this? Press 3. Is this about this? Is about, and it goes on and on till you hopefully get through to somebody, and then you might be hanging for ages waiting for them to reply. And
and your telephone bill goes up and up and up.
Well, they are free very often, these things, but
I've heard absolutely nothing about this, Bernard. Has it been generally publicised?
Are you on Virgin, Sandy?
No, I don't have anything to do with Virgin.
Are you on?
No, so then it won't affect you.
Are you on BT?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, they'll be doing it by 2025, but they're leaving it a bit later than Virgin want to do it and save the money now. But that will come to you by 2025. You will not have a landline as you know it.
Have people created a political stink about this? I mean, are there?
No. That's what surprised me. I searched about it, and all the first two pages of links were to companies saying how great this was.
I've heard about it at least 12 months ago on You and Yours, and Age UK are very involved in trying to work with the companies about what they're doing. So it hasn't a massive stink, but people have known about it for some time and try to do something. The government aren't advertising it, and neither are the companies.
No.
Well, we're Virgin, and I haven't had one of these letters.
Maybe it varies from place to place. I don't know how it works. That
no, we have.
I've had the letter.
It comes out down tubes.
And the person I was talking to, she'd had the letter, and I've got a copy of it. So we got through, and we got through to a call center, which happened to be in India, and the person said, I can't hear you properly. And I said, well, it's because all of the noise from all the cubicles next to you is making we can hardly hear you. And one of the problems was that the woman who had tried to get through just couldn't understand what they were saying. And you can't blame the individual, but the fact that they're coming with a strong accent and speaking very quickly with background noise isn't exactly the easiest of systems to get through. And this is one of eventually we've got it, and she's got an appointment, and I'll report back on what happens after that. But this is something I just want to show you. BT, Virgin, whoever, but it isn't. It isn't, and it's much more serious than they think. They say by 2025, landlines as we know them would have disappeared. They'd be based on the internet. They wouldn't be able to keep going if there was no internet connection. And a lot of people are more vulnerable out in rural areas. Older people might be cut off altogether because of it. And it's all taking place, and there seems to be no debate about it. Everybody says, this is the way of the future, this is progress. It isn't progress. Landlines are an alternative form of getting through to communications in time of great difficulty. They were really important during the the Hurricane Katrina and various events that happened, like the 9/11, where the internet was down. Mobile phones were crowding to make a call. Nobody could make a call. It was only landlines that worked. Landlines are really important. They don't need to be got rid of. It's an alternative technology which it's not like a Betamax recorder has been replaced by a VHS because one's better than the other. This is just saying an alternative form of communication is not going to be available anymore, and it shouldn't happen without some sort of protest. Yeah,
what about people with security alarms? You know, the ones that you wear around your neck and press if you have a fall when you're very elderly.
Some of them might work and some won't, apparently.
Because they're essential for elderly people. My parents used theirs 2 or 3 times.
This is also Richard Branson can have millions more, isn't it?
Well, yeah. they're saving money by getting rid of having to maintain it, and they're getting rid of the telephone exchanges, and people will be having to buy new equipment. So it's a win-win for the companies. Yeah. Anyway, just interestingly, that TikTok that I put up has had to date over 14,000 views.
Wow.
Which astonished me, and it's had 246 comments, which you saw some of them scrolling up. I'll come on to those because they're quite funny, some of them, and there are a lot of ageist comments in it, as you can imagine, though quite a lot of positive ones as well. These are the sort of I've only downloaded the first 100 comments just to show you the sort of things that people say. So I've just highlighted some of them as we go through them. If ever
cheeky bugger, sorry.
If ever a vid needs an okay boomer, this is it. Don't worry, dude, everything's gonna be fine. And another one ironically saying, bring back the Pony Express. And a more polite one, with all due respect, sir, it's time to get up to date. I haven't had a landline in many years. Unnecessary with cell service. Don't need landlines these days, even if internet goes down. You can still use mobile phones. It's the same thing. No, it isn't. No. What happens if Rogers and Bell go down again? I don't know what that means. But anyway, don't we need landline during power outages? I have a landline because of my mum, just in case of backup. My mum is dead. I won't get rid of my landline. I need to cling on to my memories. He's keeping the phone to remember his mother, which seems
oh, good Lord. Yeah.
I'm much younger than you, but I live in a rural area. Losing the landline would be losing quick access to the outside working on this. Landlines have their own power line. When electric went down, landlines still worked. We won't have that anymore. Not just the old and in rural areas, but everyone there. My internet isn't stable enough for a secure phone call. Had to use the landline to call 999. And that keeps on. Landlines are up to us. What else is going next? Rural areas don't always get a signal with mobiles if they need help.
No.
I had to canks Virgin for this. What does that mean? Cancel. X is modern text for cancel, isn't it? Yeah, cancel. Canks Virgin for this reason. I have a medical home line and need a landline. So how will this work? Also, not everyone can use internet. I agree with you, sir. It's just a big money saving scheme. Totally agree. It's already happened in Australia with the rollout of the NBN. Don't know what that is. Only home phones now run through the internet, so have to have a mobile phone. This is their way of more control, not as easy to shut down like a mobile. We need to keep landlines. Honestly, this government just ruin everything with common sense. Keep them. So it goes on. Well said, our Lord God. Don't accept technology. Stick without internet and mobile. Go back to games. The board games, not console. They're taking over. Just some fun. I like this comment, which is a very fair one, actually. I've got a Betamax and no landline. And I thought later on, actually, Betamaxes were better technology than the VHS. Yeah. They just got cancelled by the fact they pushed VHS. So I can see his view. He's keen on both Betamax and landlines. I love my landline. I can talk over people. But he doesn't like conversations, just like shouting at them. Oh, it's my autistic thing. I hate mobiles. Keeps on Mine changed to working off the internet. Nothing has changed except the area coders to be dialed for local numbers. I get a free adapter too. Hate to tell you, but copper cables are outdated. You need to move on, fella.
There you go, Bernard. You've been told.
Totally agrees. We agree. All's well and good until something goes wrong, and then we have to go back to old tech. Radio, landlines, internal combustion engines, etc. Actually, landlines are not disappearing. You can still get a house phone that runs on VoIP. It will be the same, only keep up with. It will be the same, only keep up with the time. We can't keep holding everything back because you're not willing to learn how to use a smartphone. You are 100% correct. Thank you for your time and efforts.
So they say to the man who's making a TikTok. How hypocritical is that?
It won't matter when we have chips in our brain.
I see you've got the conspiracy nuts joining in with
Yes, you've had that with your.
Where's
COVID
Fred when you need
injection.
him?
I use my ham radio for this, and pretty much everyone in the 1 kilometer radius has one because of the weekly power cuts. Wonder
Oh,
where that
good
is.
Lord.
Well, it's maybe it's a good idea. We all need to get ham radios. Get with Hancock. Do you remember that episode? It was fabulous, isn't it? My Vodafone network is rubbish when used in the home, as is 3 and O2. Agree. Just get a CB radio. My mum's landline is her only form of communication at 8.3. She doesn't want internet or mobile. So it goes on and on and on and on. See if there are any more interesting ones.
Bore off, Grandad. Old tech needs to go.
I thought that was a good one to end up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm surprised people put the effort to send it, really, don't they? Calm voice. Good to listen and think. Thank you. So you can, it's I thought that was quite entertaining, really.
Well, you didn't get any outright abuse.
No. Well, yeah, I haven't got rid of the worst. Yeah, a bit, but not too bad. But the
No.
get with it, get daddy-o. The immediate person, the person who'd come, I run these sessions on Thursday morning at Chorlton Good Neighbours Digital Support, and the woman who came after him was the man who came after is Iranian who's lived in the country for 50 years, and he was talking about electricity meters and the problems with those. He lives in a block of flats, so his meter is just outside his door, and they came and changed his meter to a smart meter without informing him or asking for his permission. And he was saying he was really angry about this because he thinks they're trying to diddle him anyway. And he said, it's money I'm bothered about. And I thought, what's he going on about? Then I realized the smartphone only had the amount of money you use each day on it. So it doesn't give you the kilowatt hours you actually use. Whereas
ours tells you how much. There's settings on it, though. I mean, I've not played with it. You can find out how much you've used in a week and a month. And
that's what he was concerned about. He wanted just one that gave you the kilowatt hours, which you could photo and send it into them, and which I thought was reasonable enough. So I on the phone this time to South Africa, where the help centre is, and they said, well, he wants it returned to a standard meter, not a smart meter. And they said, oh, it's far more useful. And he said, no, he wants the old one, thank you. And so they went away, usual thing, 10 minutes talking to their supervisor, came back, said, yes, okay, we can turn off the smart meter component, but that means we won't be able to put it back again if you want it. To which he replied, good. So they are going to do that, which is amazing. I didn't think they is it legal to just come and change your meter without even telling you? I wouldn't have thought it was. I know with people with the prepayment ones, they've been forcing their way into places, haven't they? And installing prepayment meters without anybody's.
It depends whether he's a leaseholder or not in the block of flats. Then he may not have much option around it. I don't know.
Well, he's paying the bill, isn't it? So everything's in his name. You'd have thought. I'm not sure on that either, but it didn't. It seemed to me not a good way of doing it. You know, the first he'd heard about it was this thing on the wall, and he heard from other tenants there they were going to change him onto a new tariff, which was a night and day tariff, which is going to make it far more expensive for him. So anyway, so we scotched that and got him back on the old tariff as well. So it just shows you that's just 2 in one day who came up.
Yeah.
There are people facing these things every day because the difficulty of actually getting through to call centers. It seems to me that companies nowadays, they say this, you know, if you want to contact us, first of all, it's very often quite hard to find out anywhere where it says find out how to contact us. But if you do find that, it then leads you towards a website or to a chat bot that they've got, which are totally hopeless. And when you ring up, you're going through several levels in order to get to a person. And even then you might be, and with some of them, if you've asked for the wrong thing, it'll just say, go to the website. Thank you for your call. Bang. That's the end of it. So I don't know if any of you had any recent experiences of things like that.
Yes. This week, trying to sort out insurance, house insurance and car insurance. Hopeless, absolutely hopeless. I've been screaming down the phone.
Oh dear.
I mean, that's
also, they're premium numbers, a lot of them. You know, you have to try and avoid the 0300 or whatever they are because they charge premium rates.
What, for helplines?
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm thinking of Jenny's Housing Association. Whenever they tried to ring them, they seem to wait in a queue for hours and the call costs about £3.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm thinking these are people on benefits and disabilities. Why are they paying these? Why does it have to be a premium number?
That's awful.
Yeah. And I mean, when I eventually got through about my insurance issues, the young woman was charming, but I couldn't understand her, like you say, Bernard. She had a very heavy accent, and she was, you know, she's trying to be helpful and kind, but I kept having to say, I'm sorry, I can't hear you, or I don't understand you. And
yeah, you have to ask them to spell out words very often. That's the only way of finding out. And it's nothing against them. They're doing the best they can in a language that is not, well, English as it's spoken here is not their first language.
And they're working in the night.
Yeah.
They don't work because they have to work our hours.
Well, it's not very good.
They were trying to put a premium of £83 on my car insurance because Stephen had retired, and I wanted to alter the insurance policy from him being a printer to saying retired. And the result of this was that they charged me an extra £83. So I hit the roof and blasted them down the phone, and they did actually in the end rescind it. But
they usually do if you object. It's very strange that like on insurance policies that they offer you a new rate and you say, well, thank you very much, but I'm going somewhere else, and you go back to them and then go back to what they said in the first place. It seems to be the policy that unless you complain, they get away, they do what they like. You know,
it relies on inertia.
If you do actually make a stand against something, then they just back down and, you know, go back to square one. Yeah.
I found that with car insurance, they'll give you a quote which is about £30 or £40 more than you paid the year before. Then you go back to them and say, look, this is what I want, something that's at least the same as I had before. And they find it. It's often even less.
Yes.
They're relying on people's inertia of just paying it when it comes in. Well, there you go. I've got a
that was really interesting.
Nice little rant for the day.
And, you know, the days when you could actually talk to somebody are sadly long gone, but very much missed, really. When
I've found myself ringing some of them and asking, are you a human being?
Some things ask, are you a robot, don't they?
Yeah.
But Should say yes and see what happens. Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking of recording some of these conversations, and I'll do what they do. This call is being recorded for
Training
archiving
purposes.
reasons, training purposes. Yes.
When I broke my arm and leg, and I used to go to see the consultant, they was always saying, I'd say, "Can I have a look at my notes?" He'd go, "No." I said, "Right, I'm going to keep my own then." And God, the stink that caused in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what happened then? Oh, just because they wouldn't let me read it. And I thought,
what happened when you said you couldn't keep
I'm not going to let you read what I'm writing about you.
Oh, that's terrific. I like that one.